Self-Love, Self-Healing, a unique program that's specially designed for you to take care of your holistic health and total well-being. In short, heal yourself, love your life, now and forevermore.
Good morning, Malaysia. Welcome to Durian Nation, once again with Dr. Avnish Shukla on Self-Love, Self-Healing session. Today is a bit hazy day, and I believe the government has also announced 2 days holiday for all the schools. And I think it's a good step because the health is the wealth. And with this environment, especially the children's, the immune system is yet developing. I believe it's a good step. In fact, for we all, not only the children's, need to take certain precautions related to health and especially with the hazy environment. So with that, today's topic is very vibrant, that what homeopathy can do in first aid, or if I say homeopathy at bedside. Bedside means when you are at your home and all of a sudden your child has a fever, or all of a sudden you found the cough or injury or small injuries or any such type of situations where you need something in your drawer. You need something that you can first attempt without seeing the medical consultant or the medical people, right? And at least you can manage it. So that's what I say is a bedside. When the cough is started because of just taking a day before cold things, or maybe ice cream, or maybe got wet under the rain. So such type of things we're going to discuss today. And the topic more likely homeopathy at bedside or homeopathy and first aid. So first aid is a very big topic. I believe audience would like to know more detail what first aid we're talking about. Are we going to give CPR or any such type of cardiac arrest? And very clearly, those acute emergencies, we always believe the medical setup is the best place to manage it. So any such emergencies where you will find the patient's vital sign, meaning to say pulse, meaning to say blood pressure, meaning to say eyes contact, all those things, or even the respiratory rate. If these things are not optimum, we immediately call the ambulance first. You do what you can do, but don't delay those golden time, that first 15-20 minutes. Immediately call the ambulance. What we're going to discuss here is something different, which is, I will tell you that how and what you can do when you're prescribing homeopathic medicines or homeopathic remedies to your kids or your family members. I'm not claiming that after prescribing you all become Dr. Homeopathy, but here to prevent, it is more to the prevention, right? So number one thing, that homeopathy has almost zero side effect. There is nothing called that if you will take overdose, or if a child by fault taken few more extra tablets, it will nothing happen. He will enjoy just a sweet, nothing else. It won't harm, as if like what we have in, if a child has taken paracetamol few extra doses, there will be a side effect on his body, right? So here you don't find such thing. So very safe, number one. Even into the one day born baby or to the pregnant lady, we can prescribe these medicines very well. So what happened that if at the night suddenly child or your partner or somebody in family, your family members who is suffering with a slight fever, you find the body shivering, you find that he said that I don't like to do any work, I just want to lie down, is all just showing you the sign that you have to rush to the GP, right? And I know that we are not free to just go to GP and queue over there, right? Or even government hospitals or KKM clinics, right? So in such scenarios, there is something called one remedy, which is gelsemium. It is one of the best antiviral remedy. In fact, certain papers have published against the dengue prevention or against the dengue cases being treated where the platelet counts will be very low, and this medicine can manage to boost the immunity. So this gelsemium, if you are keeping this medicine, is all rounder for all sort of fever. and just few doses of those sweet pills of homeopathy, you give it to your child or your colleague or your friend or the family member who is suffering with such type of dullness or type of an acute attack of a fever, and you find within 12 hours to 24 hours the patient is fine, the person is fine. What happened here when you give gelsemium? It is not killing the virus. Virus will be killed by its own, as it is a cyclical process, right? So we are just boosting the immune system, and boost is going to prevent the crisis which happened during the fever or during the high thermal state, high temperature in your body. Right? So this is one simple remedy called gelsemium. Talking to the another remedy which is having flu symptoms, like for example, a person or the child all of a sudden started sneezing and so much of running nose and having the headache, having the congestion and sneezing, constantly sneezing. So when you cut or peel onion, most of us experience such type of allergic conditions, right? And eyes will be lacrimating and the nose will be also running, right? And the medicine prepared from the onion called allium cepa. If you just keep allium cepa 30 potency medicine, any situation where such allergic conditions are coming up, where the nasal discharges are very sensitive, very burning in nature, and the eyes discharges are also there, eyes are getting red, and you find the sneezing is there, irritation is there, congestion is there, believe me, few doses of allium cepa will stop complete such irritations. So that's one of the anti-allergic remedy. And you find that this is helpful. Just within a few hours, you find the child intensity of the disease or the condition has reduced. So this is very herbal and very safe treatment. You have managed to get the allergic conditions with the very tiny homeopathic pills. Just imagine if you are giving the medicine instead of giving homeopathy, what will you give? There is an antihistamines, Brantag, Zantac, or there are many other such antihistamines like Citrogen. So such medicines will definitely try to protect at certain time period, and again the symptoms will reappear because they are immunosuppressors. Immunosuppressors means they are just controlling the immune response, not boosting or modulating the immune response. This is very important. Why we say overly do not use such medicines. In crisis, when you are really very, very in a troublesome state, you can take, you can't sleep it or something that way, you can definitely take. But otherwise, try to be more natural and non-toxic to your body. Right. Let's come to the third point. All of a sudden that you went for a few stools in morning and stools are loose motions, right? Watery discharges, or could be sometimes pasty. That's that, or maybe with the stomach pain. And sometimes it comes with the vomiting, nausea and vomiting. Very clear when there is a nausea, vomiting, and also the stool which is purging type or loose motions. High chances to check what you had last night. Could be it is something food poisoning, but food poisoning will not happen to only one person. If 4 people have eaten the same food, there may be chances that each of us have some symptoms. Intensity may vary, but each of us may have a similar type of symptoms. Some may vomit, some may have vomit and purging both, or some may be taking longer time to evacuate those things. Maybe after 24 hours they will show the symptoms, right? So what happened in this such emergency? Then the night 2 o'clock you rush to toilet and you purge 5 times. That time you may not have medicine. You need to rush to hospital or GP again, So if you keep a medicine, very simple medicine, we have arsenic album. This is a very nice diluted form of homeopathic remedy. Few doses of arsenic will completely stop the stool or reduce the frequency of a stool, and as well as maintain your weakness, recover from the weakness which is happened due to purging. right? Sometimes we have also another medicine called podophyllum, which is also another plant-based medicine. If the constantly person is purging for a few days and then the prostration or the weakness is very intense, then we give that particular medicine. Again, all these medicines are come into prepared form. You just need to go to a homeopathic shop and say that I want podophyllum 30, and he will give it to you. You can take 2 hourly, 3 hourly, or maybe 4 times a day. That's a standard way of taking this medicine. I know that people may be new to hear about these things, that how does these things work, and for those purposes we do conduct certain type of a small training, 2 hours classes, and those classes will guide you how and when and what you can do with these medicines when you keep at your bedside, at your home. Right, coming forward, so this was about the purging or about the loose motion. Let's see that something which is coming, something called the stomach pain. Very commonly children's or even the teenagers, or even there's another thing called menstrual colic, where also we will take the some antispasmodic drugs, or maybe the Panadol, which is very common, right? In such situations also, we have one medicine called magnesium phos. Magnesium phos will be just given few doses, and you find any type of such, we say the colic, any type of such pains which relate to the abdominal or any part of the abdomen, magnesium will try to manage it. So this is very, very important remedy, magnesium. It controls your neural system or the nervous system, and it manages the whole body system, as well as remove the pains. And moving further, that one of the very common thing which I found, when there are few children in a family, they will definitely fight, or they will play, or they will, all those things where they may hit themselves, or they hurt themselves, or small injuries happen. A remedy known as calendula. Calendula is one of the medicine which we prescribe for any type of lacerative wounds where the small bleeding started. The moment you found a child hit and got a bleeding, that's the calendula. Calendula also we give in that kit box a calendula cream, calendula ointment or calendula cream. So you can use an external application, that calendula cream, and also internally can be given to heal faster. Within 1 or 2 days, you don't need antibiotics, and it will heal 100%. It will stop the bleeding perfectly. So that is the calendula. Sometimes we don't have bleeding, but we have blind injury. Blind injury, like suddenly fighting and got a punch, and that punch got swollen. Right, when in Malay they say bangkak, right? So once that got punch, or maybe sometimes by riding the bicycle they fall down, and then they got bruise where no bleeding, but it's just like a rough skin, right? So that rough skin is very painful, and sometimes there's a raw surface on that, and that gives the burning sensation. You can apply the calendula cream, but medicine is known as arnica. Arnica. Arnica is one of the pain reliever in homeopathy. If I say the arnica is a painkiller of homeopathy, it will not be a hyperbolic. So such medicine arnica can be given when you find there is a blind injury. Or sometimes that blue and black happen because of that fall. The blood circulation has obstructed, and that's where you find the blue and black happen. So arnica is also, whenever you are going for any tracking and all, keep these 2 remedies, calendula and arnica. It will always help. Since we're talking about these things, we also have something called overexertion. What do you mean by overexertion? Simple meaning, if you are doing every day 4-hour work and suddenly you've been asked to do 6 hours. So that means you have exerted yourself 2 hours extra. What will be the outcomes? After 2 hours of overexertion, you find your body is bit tired. You are feeling muscular pain. Notice the word here, muscular pain. Muscles are painful. And sometimes we also found in children cases, like when they are not used to go for physical activities, and suddenly they went for 2-3 days physical activities because school forced them, and then they come back with a fever, they come back with the tiredness, they come back with the muscle atrophy or dystrophy or pain into the muscles or body parts. That's the time when we prescribe Rustox. Rustox is another very good medicine which take care of all such type of over-exertion, over-strain. Maybe you walking every day 2 kilometers, suddenly you start walking 5 kilometers, and that's where you're getting the pain in your muscles of the leg. The medicine is Rustox. Right? Rustox is also pain reliever. Arnica is also pain reliever. Difference is Arnica pain is trauma. Arnica has got hit, so that's where the pain starts. That's a trauma. Right? But Rustox is being strained by doing the same activity overly or overdoing, and that strain is calling for Rustox. Right? Even Rustox also take care when there is a fever with the body ache, when there is a wet weather, when there is a rainy weather. All these conditions, modalities also matches in Rustox because of the weather you are suffering with that. So this is one of the very best remedy which can be used. So I have told you the 3 remedies which you can carry anytime when you want to go for trekking, and you will be free from painkillers, free from all those traumatic anti-inflammatory and all those medicines. You take a precaution and take homeopathic medicines with you, you will be fine. Another one good medicine I wanted to tell about is called Aconite. Aconite. Aconite is one of the remedy for anything in homeopathy which is at a very acute state. If I say homeopathy is a first stage of homeopathy, or it's a first remedy, it is very truthfully explained in many books in homeopathy that anything happen. Anything means, for example, all of a sudden your child fever, night suddenly you find tiba damamada is very high temperature, 40. So remedy is Aconite. Give 3 doses of Aconite first in half an hour condition, regardless whether it's viral, bacterial and whatever. It's sudden onset. Suddenly somebody is having the anxiety attack. Suddenly somebody is having certain type of pains, and you're not understanding what is happening. So the time you are taking to understand, do prescribe Aconite. Because Aconite has an intense fear of death, and that is coming because of that violent state of mind due to the disease symptom which is very aggressive. Right? So I think maybe it's a bit complicated, but I'm just trying to simplify here that Aconite is one of the medicine which can be prescribed for any conditions which is all of a sudden happening. Like morning, wake up with a very violent cough, give Aconite. Wake up with a very violent pain due to cold. Maybe you were under the aircon sleeping and you forgot to cover yourself. And morning you find the body is stiffed, right? Dry cold air, right? Take Aconite. Believe me, within few doses, you will find the momentum back and you will be fine. So this is the magic of homeopathic remedy, Aconite, which is very, very well selected remedy when the situations are suddenly happen, whether fever, whether it's any other type of sprains or anything where you are not understanding what could be the cause behind it, right? Sometimes also we have certain situations like cough, and fever happen, and then fever gone, and then cough is started, and then cough is not going 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and child is just coughing and coughing. One common medicine for cough which can be kept in my bedside kit is called Bryonia. 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 This Bryonia, having a chest pain while coughing. Okay, one thing I'll tell you that homeopathic medicines are not meant for patent type of diseases. For example, you are prescribing for one thing, and you think that Bryonia is only good for your chest or only for the cough. No. Bryonia has many other symptoms. but also it has one of the leading symptom for the respiratory system, and that's where we find majority of us, when in an acute condition, suffered with such type of cough which Bryannia has. So when you give Bryannia to your child or to your any other person who is suffering with this, you find it will give the relief within 2 to 3 days. I will not say like in antibiotics you have to take 5 days regularly this medicine. If you find in 1 day your cough is 80% removed, stop the remedy. You don't need to continue remedy. But if not, maybe you need a further few repetitions of the remedy, and after then you stop it. So some magics happen even in 1 day. You find that we have given the remedy for 1 day and it's just completely off. You find that the child is not having the cough next morning. Today night he was very bad cough, and morning he is completely fine. So it's all depending on the individual characteristics, individual vitality, individual immune system, right? But definitely that cough can be managed. Another one, another remedy which is very, very important, which has come for the weather change. In Malaysia, well, only the rainy season and we have a hot season, right? So heat and then the rain. But temperatures, some countries where the temperatures are quite flexible, like or quite changeable, like Melbourne, you find that in a day you will have a 4 weather. Right, so morning you went with a very you are coming out from the house with a very tiny shirt, and at night you found it's too cold that you need to use the blazer or blanket, right? So in such conditions, body barometer, which is regulating your thermal state, if it is intact with your immune system, you will not affected by the weather change. But majority of us not really intact, because when it attacking time to time, one fine day you find that you are affected by the weather change. Sudden change in the weather, like nowadays, like the haze is coming up. If suddenly start raining, then you find another temperature is coming up, right? So sudden fall and up into the temperature, which is causing a body to the problems. There could be anything. It could be the skin rashes, it could be skin allergies, it could be a respiratory problem, it could be cough, it could be sneezing, it can be anything. There's a one peculiar remedy which is called Dulcamara, Dulcamara. Dulcamara is one of the good barometer regulator. And it manages perfectly. I mean, some cases I know that where the moment they have a weather change, they start sneezing, and they sneezes like anything. They only can be stopped the sneezing when they take antihistamines. So once we had introduced the Dulcamara, they are perfectly fine with that. And homeopathic medicines will not only try to subside the symptoms, but at the same time it will try to boost your immunity and modulate your immune system. So what will happen after certain time period, our body will not respond that badly or that severe conditions. So after 6 months, when I see the patients who have taken homeopathic medicine, they are quite improved in their symptom presentation. So after 6 months, the child still get the sneezing, but within few minutes, you find the child is good. He doesn't need to go for whole day and then he take an MC, he do not go to school, he doesn't go to school. All those things are not happening. What does it mean? It means your immune has been modulated. Immune has been perfectly boosted enough to fight against such type of conditions. This is the uniqueness you find, which only provides in homeopathic system, where we are not fighting, but we are trying to improve you or your immune system immensely, so that it will be always there with you. Whenever the crisis happen, it will fight back. Right. So I believe that these are some good remedies which I discussed with you all, which is called Homeopathy at Bedside. What I suggest my audience, that this particular program, which is homeopathy and a homeopathic medical kit can be also accessed or can be joined at our center at USJ 11 Global Homeopathic Center or Pusat Purbatan Homeopathy GSC, and you can find us on www.lovelifehomeopathy.com. More details will be given over there. Of course, this particular program we are launching every fourth Saturday of the month. So from October we are starting, and believing the first program will be on 26th of October. Date can be again confirmed, but it will be the fourth Saturday. So every month we will have the session. It will be 2-hour session, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Time can be changed if there is a requirement or there is a demand from the people, right? For more details, you can ping us, or you can give your comments on Facebook, right? So I believe this important information of homeopathy at bedside or homeopathy and first aid will make us more vibrant and believing more into homeopathy. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we will be back again with the exciting topics for next Friday. Thank you so much.